Hi, it's Steve from Training for Solihull, and today I want to share with you day 3 of our 12 Days of Christmas tips to help you get in the best health and fitness of your life in 2021 and beyond. And in terms of exercise and training, the most neglected element is strength training. It's something that we put a massive focus on at Training for Warriors, and many of the most successful gyms around in the area do the same. And it's because of the importance of strength training in terms of its influence on your metabolism, as well as many other elements of your health and fitness. In fact, so much so that Tufts University in the 90s, I believe, they produced a study where they found that muscle strength and the amount of muscle that people had were the most important markers of how healthy someone would age. In fact, more accurate markers than things like their blood pressure, their cholesterol levels, their diabetes or blood sugar levels, I should say, and all of the things that we might associate with health as we age. In other words, if there was two things you could do to make yourself healthy in later life, it was to increase your muscle mass and increase your strength, which of course is done by strength training. Now, the important thing with strength training is it's got to be done with an intensity. So one of our mottos at Training for Warriors is we lift heavy and sprint, which means when we're lifting weights, it's heavy. Now, heavy is a relative term for some of our members. Just doing bodyweight exercises is heavy. It's challenging. Heavy means that, at the end of the set of 10 or 12 reps or whatever it is, you'd be struggling to do more because it was heavy. Now, that's really important. So a lot of the classes that profess to be strength training often are actually, more strength endurance, I guess, or muscle endurance, light weights done for lots and lots of reps, and don't really give you the benefits that we're talking about here. So what are the benefits of strength training? Well, for a start, the increase in your muscle mass that you get from strength training, as well as the stimulus to your muscle tissue to make your muscle tissue active, is very effective at helping to control your blood sugar levels, which is why muscle mass was one of the best markers for how healthy you'd age. Because when you've got more muscle and when your muscle is more active, then you have a much better controlled blood sugar level, so your risk of diabetes is less. Not only that, your body won't store fat as readily because your muscle is much more able to take on board any sugars that you consume and things like that. So that's the key benefit. Now, as you get, later in life, and obviously females as well, tend not to have the capacity to build as much muscle as men, and that's fine because many of you won't want to build lots and lots of muscle. But what we're also talking about is making sure that the muscle that you've got is active and is stimulated and is stressed and is challenged, and that's what we're doing with strength training. So the other benefit of strength training is the increase to your metabolism. Now, there's an increase long term, which basically, again, the more muscle you've got and the more active your muscle is, the more you use that muscle, it burns calories. Okay, fat burns relatively few calories, if any at all, on a day-to-day basis, whereas muscle burns calories regularly throughout the day. Your muscle needs energy, it's burning energy, so therefore, again, if you start to follow a good nutrition plan, you're going to lose weight more effectively as a result of having the muscle mass. Okay, so not just that though, there's what we call the afterburn effect. So you'll be familiar with the concept that when you've done some weights or you've done some new exercises, even if it's body weight, some squats or lunges, some exercises where you've stressed and stretched your muscles, you feel a little bit sore afterwards. Okay, why? Because you've caused stress, you've broken down that tissue, you've caused some damage. Now, of course, what needs to happen is it has to repair. What does it need to repair? It needs raw materials. It needs energy. It needs, attention, I suppose. But the fact that you need to repair means that process is going to use up energy. So your metabolism is going to be elevated, and the studies show that for 24 to 48 hours after lifting weights, you have an elevated metabolism. Your body is burning more calories. Okay, it might be about 7%, 7 to 10% more calories. Now, when you do a strength training workout, you tend not to burn as many calories as if you were to go and do a cardiovascular. But when you consider that you then might be burning, maybe 150 or so calories a day for the next couple of days following a strength training workout, just in the process of your muscles recovering and adapting to the demands of that workout to make you stronger, then that's a significant calorie burn. And if you then do that 2 or 3 times a week, that's why you can actually lose weight through strength training and following a nutrition plan without needing to do loads and loads of calorie burning with cardiovascular. Now, there are benefits to, of course, calorie burning and cardiovascular activity, which I'll talk about in another of the tips. But hopefully you can see, if you enjoy lifting weights and, if you're prepared to follow a good nutrition plan and get in the gym and lift weights 2 or 3 times a week, then you're going to get some significant weight loss benefits as a result of that. Okay. So as I say, you've got to kind of lift relatively heavy. You need to reach a level of fatigue towards the end of the set, if you like. So if we're doing a set of 10 bicep curls or 10 squats or whatever it is, just make sure that towards the end you get to the point where maybe you could only do 1 or 2 more, if that. Now, the more experienced you are, the more you can push it to the limit. Okay, if you're just lifting weights for the first time, you don't really want to reach that absolute failure, because there's a bit of a, maybe a health and safety concern there. You don't want to drop the weight on yourself or anything like that. So when you get to that point where I'm struggling, I'm starting to feel it, it's challenging me now, maybe I could do 1 or 2 more, then maybe that's the point where you can stop, have a rest, and then go again. So what is the best way to strength train? Well, certainly free weight exercises or body weight exercises, what we call functional movements. So things like squats, lunges, deadlifts, or what we'd also call kind of bend patterns, where you're bending and standing, holding weights, pushes, so press ups or bench press with a barbell or dumbbells, overhead press with a barbell or dumbbells, pulls, chin-ups if you can do chin-ups, lat pull down, bent over row, if you've seen the TRX rows, things like that. So any functional movement where you are either using a free moving weight like a barbell, dumbbell or kettlebell, or even just your body weight, that as a rule of thumb is going to fatigue you within kind of 10 to 15 repetitions, then that's what you're going to get success at. Now, for beginners, we'd probably recommend 2 to 3 times a week of strength training, full body exercises. So doing, not doing like just your arms on one workout, do the whole body in one workout, have a rest day, and then do that again a day after. Probably 2 or 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps for each exercise. If you're more advanced, we recommend kind of reducing the reps through the month. So, maybe week 1, you start with 12 reps of each exercise. And then week 2, you increase the weight by, 2.5 to 5 to 10 kilograms, depending on the exercise. And you just do 8 reps. Week 3, you increase the weight again and you just do 4 reps. And then week 4, you increase the weight again and then you do 2 reps. That would be the sort of program that we might use for someone that's more advanced, because then you're actually lifting heavier and heavier and heavier throughout the month, and then you kind of start again. It's a great way of getting stronger and increasing the intensity of your lifts, because if you increase the weight but on the other side you can do less reps, then it's psychologically it's easier to achieve success with that sort of method. Okay, so yeah, that's how we would recommend doing strength training: free weights, functional movements, as a rule, kind of 10 to 15 repetitions, 2 or 3 sets of each exercise, using full body functional movements like squats, lunges, anything where you're pressing or you're pulling, using your body weight or the free weights. That's the best approach. Now, there are some other benefits to strength training as well. Things like an improvement in your posture, an improvement in your bone density, an improvement in your joint health, and of course then a reduction of pain as a result of that, and just a general improvement in how you move. You will also get a fitness benefit, because the stronger you are, the easier it is to run, the easier it is to cycle, because you've got more strength to do so. So if you're more of an aerobic or a cardio enthusiast, that's fine, but you will still find some really good benefits to strength training, because of the way that it will improve how well you can do those activities. Therefore, it will be relatively easier. Therefore, you could go relatively faster or relatively longer. So whatever your activity, whatever it is that you want to achieve, strength training is massively beneficial. So hope that's useful to you. If you've got any questions, if you need any help, drop us a shout, drop us an email, or drop us a message on Facebook, and we are more than happy to help. And I've also attached in the email, so if you haven't subscribed to the emails for these tips, guys, please do use the link below, because I've attached the report on the biomarkers of aging and health that I talked about at the start of this video. So I hope to see you tomorrow.